On one hand, we have the brand new C8 Corvette, and the internet has gone nuts for it. But now Ford has introduced the GT500, which has 760 horsepower, and they're about the same price. So let's do a quick side-by-side comparison and see which one you think is better. Hi, my name is Eric, and obviously people are gonna blame me for making an unfair comparison, but let's just sort of lay down. It's not apples to apples, it is apples to oranges, but here's what we have. We have the C8 Corvette, which is only available in base form right now, and it starts at $60,000, and you won't be able to get it for $60,000. I doubt a dealer anywhere in the country is ordering one, maybe one. On the other hand, we have the GT500, the new Mustang, with a whole bunch of horsepower, and it starts at $74,000, and that's when you factor in the delivery fee and the gas guzzler tax. So are they equivalent in price? I mean, I think they're pretty close. And are they equivalent in performance? Let's take a look at that. Now, I know you like to talk about cars, so I've got a Discord server, and you should come and check it out. It's absolutely free. The link is down below, and it's a real-time chat server. You can run it on your phone or in your browser, and we've got a whole bunch of members. There's about 600 right now, and you can basically talk about cars all day and all night long. And one more quick plug, if you want to reach me, Instagram is probably the best way, and I'm posting a lot of IGTV videos lately. Some of them don't even make it onto YouTube, so go check that out as well. Ford GT500. The engine is a 5.2 liter V8, of course, and it is, I believe, based on the same block as the GT350. Now, in this configuration, it's got a supercharger on it, 2.65 liters, pretty big, sits in the top of the V, and it cranks out 760 horsepower and 625 pounds-feet of torque. This is pretty serious power. The transmission is a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission from Tremec. It shifts incredibly quickly. They're saying less than 100 milliseconds. That is less than 1/10 of a second. And coincidentally, by the way, that is the same speed that Toyota claims that you get out of the 8 HP transmission, which is in the new Supra. That's a full automatic. Now, Ford didn't publish a weight, but the current GT350 is 3,662 pounds. So I'm gonna take a guess that this is gonna be a heavier car because it's got probably more reinforcement. There's definitely more cooling. They did a lot of special additional cooling on this car. I'm gonna guess it's gonna come in at about 3,850. Now, as for the Corvette, Chevrolet hasn't actually published a real number. They've given us the dry weight, which is 3,366. Wet, the curb weight is gonna be a lot higher, possibly as much as 200 pounds higher with all the fluids in it. So, you know, we're gonna guess 3,666, 3,600 pounds minimum, something like that. It's not gonna be a super light car, but definitely the Mustang is gonna be a heavier car, no question. Interestingly enough, the Corvette, the ZR1 right now has 755 horsepower. So this is the Mustang is essentially the same power level, and it's definitely a lot less money. So different part of the equation right there. Of course, the C7 is being phased out. Now, the C8 Corvette has a dry sump system, and I couldn't find anything references to that again on the Ford website, but they are saying it has special active oil baffles. I'm not quite sure what that means, but supposedly it's going to keep the oil where the pickups are under high cornering loads. And they've also said it's going to be a very capable car in all conditions, including on track. That's some of the videos they have, and they're definitely insinuating or intimating this is going to be a good track car. So hopefully they figured out the oiling system on this as well. We know that on the old LS-based engines on the Chevys, there's definitely an oiling problem under high Gs, and they've now hopefully resolved that with the brand new LT2 engine. But how quick are these cars going to be? I mean, let's just talk about what people are interested in on the internet at least. So Ford says it's going to do the quarter mile in less than 11 seconds. So pretty darn quick. Let's call it 10.95. So the C8 Corvette. Now, the only number that Chevy has been bandying around so far is the 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, or under 3 seconds if you want to be accurate on the internet. And we don't know what the quarter mile speed is going to be, but the current C7 Corvette stock with stock tires does the quarter mile in about 12.2 according to Car and Driver. Now, I'm sure you can find all kinds of examples. You can go all over the internet and find all kinds of different examples of what the car will do. And, you know, all the Chevy lovers are going to come in here and start commenting about how that figure is wrong. But hey, I'm just going with what the manufacturer says. Obviously, if you're an experienced drag racer under differing conditions, you're going to get different numbers, but let's call it 12.2. So the C8, of course, has 495 horsepower. It's a little bit more than the C7 at 460. So I'm going to guess that the 60-foot time is going to be a lot quicker on the C8, of course, compared to the Mustang GT500, but I think on balance on the quarter mile, even though the Chevy might have the bump out of the gate, I think by the end of the quarter mile the horsepower is definitely going to win over, and I'm predicting that it's going to be, you know, several tenths quicker down the quarter mile. Ford is also giving out a 0 to 100 to 0 number, which is 10.4 seconds. Now, to put the quarter mile time for the GT500 in context, let's look at some similar cars, get a little bit of guidance on that. So the Dodge SRT Hellcat has 717 horsepower, 650 pounds-feet of torque, so it's pretty close. Curb weight is 44.48, so it definitely is quite a bit heavier. 11.1 is the estimate for the quarter mile there. The Porsche 911 GT3, 500 horsepower, quarter mile 11.2, 0 to 60 in 3.1. So it seems like that's a pretty reasonable number for Ford to come in at, you know, 11 seconds or under. I think there's really no question that the GT500 is probably going to win in the quarter mile race. Now, in the handling department, we don't really know a whole lot yet. Ford is definitely touting the handling of this car. Obviously, Chevy is too. They've both got lots of racetrack videos. So which one would you buy? I know the internet is aflame with comments about how amazing the C8 Corvette is, and it absolutely is. It's definitely not going to be available at $60,000. It's going to be very hard to find one at that. You can find one at MSRP. There's quite a few dealers selling them at that price. Now, the GT500, you can add a lot more features on it than just the $70,000 to $74,000 that it comes with. For example, the carbon fiber track package, $18,500. The handling package, $1,500. Fully loaded, about $97,000, maybe even a little bit more, so call it $100,000. And you know there's going to be additional dealer markup on it. On some Corvettes, you're going to pay additional dealer markup too if you want it early, so they're both pretty expensive cars, but $100,000 for a Mustang, that is kind of pushing it. I know they're getting into supercar territory, so is the Corvette, obviously. Maybe the Corvette has already been to supercar territory for a little while, but that is a lot of money for a Ford Mustang. So let me know down in the comments below which one you think is something that you would actually daily drive and buy. The sound on both of these cars is incredible, but the GT500, Ford engineers have really gone the extra length to tune this engine so it just sounds amazing. Ford has put out the 0 to 100 to 0 time, and that is 10.6 seconds. That is pretty fast. And just for a little bit of context, if you look at the original Bugatti Veyron, it's less than a second off from that. So how does it do it? Well, the car has Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, and it's got this brand new 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which Ford claims has all kinds of cool technology. And just from the press release, they're saying it is a novel wet clutch system with 5 friction plates in the odd gear pack for a total of 155 square inches of surface area. Transmission fluid is applied to the clutch surfaces only during thermal events for optimal cooling and minimal parasitic loss. So it all sounds really good, but obviously it's really quick. And also the car has a carbon fiber drive shaft, which is extra light and apparently also able to handle all this extra power, and the rear diff is beefed up too. I really want to thank my Patreons who have been supporting this channel for a long time, especially Real6, aka Epic God, $100. Thank you so much. David Bowder, Furious Grommel, $50. Marlboro Ferrari, $20. New Patreon, thank you. Squirrel Pope, Jason Perdue, and everybody else on screen. You guys are super awesome. If you want to support the channel, there is a link to the Patreon down below. And also, if you like videos, hey, there's a couple over here on the screen right now. Love it if you hit subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video.